So we're back on our series on the 9 main parts of speech, and one of the last ones we will do is adverbs. And please, when you learn about adverbs, you must already know what nouns, adjectives, and verbs are. If you don't, then you're not going to fully understand adverbs, because I am going to mention these a lot when I talk about adverbs. Okay, it's just like you can't do adjectives if you don't know what a noun is, and you can't do adverbs if you don't know what adjectives, verbs, and nouns are. So let's just review something quickly. An adjective modifies or describes a noun, right? As in the tiny mouse. Okay, tiny mouse runs. And there you have your adjective tiny, which describes the noun mouse. When I get to an adverb, it's kind of similar. Number one, it has a few jobs. So let's say it modifies or describes a verb, but it can also do that for an adjective, and this is the hardest one. It can also do it for an adverb, right? So an adverb can describe a verb, it can describe an adjective, and it can describe itself. And that's a little hard to get your head wrapped around, that why is it describing itself? You're not going to have a noun describing a noun, and it becomes an adjective. But we'll get to that. And an adverb will never describe a noun, because if it's describing a noun, then it's not an adverb, it's an adjective. Okay, so let's start with the easy part. When we look at an adverb, there has to be a verb that it is modifying. So if I say I run, let's say I run I run fast. Right. Here is very different than if I say I give a present, or I give presents. Okay. Presents is a noun. And let's replace that with Tommy. Okay. Tommy gives presents. Okay. Tommy, proper nouns. Okay. Gives and run, they will be verbs. But in this case, I have a noun, I have a noun, I have a verb. That's clear. But fast is not a thing. Now you need to be careful here. The fast boy won the race. Boy being another noun, and won being your verb. Fast, what's fast going to be? It's going to be an adjective. But here, fast is not describing Tommy, it's not describing the boy. I can ask myself the question, how does Tommy run? And the how is what tells me that it relates to the run. It's not about Tommy. I'm not saying Tommy is fast, I'm saying the running is fast. Tommy, oops, should be an S. Tommy runs fast, right? So that doesn't always have to be a how question. Okay? If I say Tommy runs outside. Okay, take this one away. Move this one down there. Tommy runs outside. I would say, where does Tommy run? And that is also an adverb because it answers the question where and it relates to the verb. But if I say down here, what does Tommy give? What is relating to a thing, which is why present, what does he give? He gives presents. Presents will be a noun. Okay, I can even say something as follows, where I say, Tommy hits John. Okay, and we go Tommy, we go John, both of them are nouns, and hits is there, and I would be asking, who does Tommy hit? And the who will relate there. So where and how the running happens, that will make it an adverb. Okay. No, this is a little tricky. Now it can be where. We've already had where does Tommy run. We've had how does Tommy run. Now let's say Tommy runs now. Then it becomes when does Tommy run? And that still is an adverb because it's relating to the verb here of runs. When does he run? How does he run? Right? All those kind of things. Okay. And that will make it an adverb that describes the verb. So just be careful there. And I specifically used adverbs that don't have ly in it because people will tell you, oh, every adverb has an ly in it. So if I say, how does Tommy run? He runs quickly. Yes, there's an ly. Okay, but not every adverb has ly in it, as I just showed you. Right? Inside is an adverb, doesn't have ly in it. Okay, outside is an adverb, doesn't have ly in it. Okay, Tommy runs now. Again, adverb, doesn't have ly in it. And I really hate that rule because if I say he is friendly, okay, right, let's make that for now. If I say he is friendly, oh look, there's an ly, it must be an adverb. No, it isn't. Okay, friendly is not describing an action. Friendly is describing a person, which is he, right? If I can say, let's use Tommy again. Tommy is friendly. Tommy is a noun. And here, this adjective is describing Tommy. So the ly rule doesn't always apply, and I wouldn't use that rule for adverbs, or you're going to get it wrong. Okay, you've got to follow the rule that it is modifying a verb and answers that question of where, of when, of how. If it doesn't answer that question, then it's not an adverb that is describing a verb. Okay, right. So that one solves the problem of, okay, it modifies or describes a verb. Now we get to it modifies or describes an adjective. Whew. Let's get to that. Okay. Tommy is tall. Now I can say, well, let's rather say the girl is tall. Same as the tall girl. Right. Okay, in this case, oops, tall is an adjective. That's why I said at the beginning of this video, you need to know your adjectives and your nouns and your verbs very well before starting to learn about adverbs. So the girl is tall, the tall girl. What if I add the girl is tall and pretty? Okay. What is pretty? Pretty is still an adjective because it is describing the noun, the girl, right? It's still an adjective. But let's say I do this. Girl is very tall. Now, what's the rule with an adjective? An adjective modifies a noun. It is describing the girl. Even if I say here, the very tall girl. Okay, there's our noun, girl. So what is very? Well, very is an adverb. But why, though? I'll show you. If I look at the word very, it's not describing a verb. The verb in this sentence is, and this is just a phrase. It doesn't have a verb in it. So I can say the very tall girl runs, then it's a full sentence. But very is not describing runs. The girl runs very. The girl is very run. And what you need to understand here is very is not describing the girl. I can't say the very girl. I can't say the girl is very. It doesn't make sense. Very is telling me the amount that she is tall. It's telling me how tall she is. So that makes it an adverb that describes an adjective. Okay, will very always be an adverb that describes an adjective? No. Will it always be an adverb? Almost always. Okay. So we've dealt with that one, and I can replace it with all kinds of things. I can say she is extremely tall. Right. That's still an adverb because it describes the adjective. Okay. So even though it's called an adverb, it doesn't always modify a verb. It can also describe an adjective. Right. Now, let's move on to our last way that an adverb can be used. And that is to describe or modify another adverb. Right. And I'm going to use very again. The girl is running slowly. Okay, so let's just review. Girl, noun. Is running, there's our verb phrase there. Right. Slowly, I can answer the question, how is she running? And if I can ask that question, and I can answer it with the word slowly, then slowly becomes, it's an adverb. How is she running? She's running slowly. And here you do have the ly added to that adverb. Okay. So the girl is running slowly. Now, what if I say the girl is running very slowly? How is she running? She's running very slowly. The very is not describing the running. I cannot say the girl is very running. It doesn't work, right? It just doesn't work. She doesn't describe the running. It is telling me the amount of slowly. So very is an adverb describing an adverb. And there it is. Right. So I just wanted to erase that. Your adverbs can describe verbs, they can modify adjectives, and they can modify other adverbs. Right. And there are different kinds of adverbs. We'll get into that later. Now I just want you to be able to see a different adverb. Sometimes adverbs will not be close to the verb that they're describing. For example, if I say, tomorrow I will study for my test. Okay. Right. Tomorrow I will study for my test. Now, if we look at this here, what is the verb? Okay, there's our verb phrase, the two verbs in it. That will be will study. Right. And tomorrow has nothing to do with the test. If it said tomorrow's test, then it would be an adjective describing the test. it has nothing to do with me. It's not my tomorrow. Tomorrow, if I can say, when will I study? When will I study? Right. And there you go. When? And the answer to that question is tomorrow. Tomorrow I will study. It's related to that verb. So in this case, the adverb has jumped in front of the sentence. Now you have to be cautious when looking at words like tomorrow, because here, if I say something like tomorrow will be, well, let's rather say tomorrow will be a great day. Tomorrow is not describing a verb here. Tomorrow is actually the subject of the sentence. And it's not an adverb, it's a noun here. Okay, right. So just be aware of that and look at the sentence. Okay, there's no like main verb that tomorrow is acting on, where here study is clearly related to tomorrow and say when will I study. But here tomorrow is the subject of the sentence. Okay, and it will be a noun. I also just want to get back to prepositions as well. You have to be careful not to confuse your prepositions and your adverbs. For example, if I say, you must run inside. Okay, let's just say you must run inside. And here it will answer my question of where must you run? And that will then make inside an adverb. Right, because it's describing the run. But if I say the pencil is inside the pencil case. Right, so pencil case is one word here. Then pencil and pencil case are two nouns, and inside is a preposition that is describing the relationship between the two. I know this is hard because it's always in relation to the context that the sentence is in. Just follow the rules and you'll be able to find the adverbs that describe where they go. Okay, let's just do one example just to see if you can notice it. Okay, let's say I can see. Now this sentence is not going to make that much sense. It's going to be grammatically correct, but it's going to sound a little strange. I can see beauty in the beautiful running, or let's say dancing, of the girl when she dances beautifully. Okay, let's erase these. See it a little more clearly. Okay, I can see beauty in the beautiful dancing of the girl when she dances beautifully. There's a lot of beauty in this sentence. Spelled last time I spelled it wrong. All right, beautifully. Now, let's say very beautifully. So let's see what you learned. I can see beauty. What is beauty? What is beautiful? What is beautifully? And what is very? So let's say here, I'm going to underline, let's see. So I want to know what all these words are. Let's start with the first one. Beauty. Do you know what it is? Say it yourself. It's a noun. It's an abstract noun. It's a thing that you see. Okay, it's not, you can't pick it up, you can't grab it, but it is an idea, it is a thing. Okay. Then, beautiful. What is beautiful? This is a hard one. I'll give you about 5 seconds to think about it. All right. If you said adverb, you're wrong. Because you're thinking of dancing as a verb, but dancing isn't. Okay. Dancing here is a noun. It's a gerund. So beautiful is describing a noun, and beautiful is an adjective. And beautiful will always be an adjective. Right. Oops. Why did I underline girl? Okay. And then beautifully. What is it? That's your adverb, because this is a verb. And it says how, right? How does the girl dance? Right? And beautifully describes that. And therefore, beautifully is an adverb. And very, what's that? Very will be an adverb as well, because it is describing another adverb. Okay. Even if I put very in here, what would that be? That would also be an adverb, because it is describing an adjective. Right. The very is not describing the dancing. Very dancing. No. Okay, I know this is a long video, but adverbs, they can be one of the hardest parts of speech. All right. Hope that helped.